We started the It's Great to Be Alive series in response to my clear awareness that we needed a vehicle by which we could let people know that the disease of alcoholism and chemical dependency was rampant in our country, that it affected people of all levels of society, and that it was something that could be treated and recovery could be resolved from that. And television and the series became the means by which that was possible.
The mid-70s was a time of transition in the fight against alcoholism and chemical dependency. For the first time, highly visible people chose to fight the stigma and talk candidly about their addictions to someone who knew what they'd been through. Glenn Jorgensen, himself in recovery, ran a treatment center in South Dakota. When he shared his idea for a special half-hour public service program with others, he was told by many that it couldn't be done. But he persevered and surprised even himself with the nationwide success of It's Great to Be Alive.
How do you get a Johnny Cash or a Betty Ford or a Leonard Firestone or Art Linkler, those people to either come to South Dakota or sit down wherever you might go to do these shows without any pay? They're not, you have to be able to get to them. And then when you get to them, because you've got a good thing going and because you've got good friends, and then you have to have good staff who are willing to go beyond just standing behind a camera or whatever and become involved and make the celebrity feel like they're a part of a good winning team and turn out a good product, and then they're glad they did it, and others are willing to share and do the same thing.
The only difference between me and a Skid Row bum was I had a nice house to be a Skid Row bum in,
It's a great equalizer, isn't it? Doesn't make a difference where you sobered up at.
Well, I had an alcoholic's paradise. I had a nice house, a nice white house on the top of a hill, and I had a whole cellar full of whiskey, and I had a maid who was paid to like me, and I had a dog. The dog loved me because I was in bed all the time, and that was, he'd never been allowed on the bed that long.
And I had 7 years of constant habituation or addiction. I think my psychiatrists like to say habituation.
Yeah, I think that's
I mean, it was cold, hard addiction, devotion. I mean, it was devotion to what I was doing. It was amphetamines, barbiturates, and alcohol, all three in a cycle for 7 years.
And while I had my denial, my family had their denial too. Perhaps that was because of the image I was to them. I was a mother, I was a wife, I was what they looked to be a grandmother, the grandmother to their children. And that's a very close personal thing. So for me to be an alcoholic was not acceptable.
I was in Dallas, Texas, and an awful thing happened to me and these people I was with. We ran out of dope. It was an awful thing. Terrible thing.
The supply was gone.
It was gone. We had given checks. We had been to the 24-hour teller. Everybody had spent all the money